Joe, we're gonna let you talk now.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, tell us how you're gonna help us.
I'm just kidding. Which one do you want to know about? Swinging bridges.
We wanna know about the swinging bridges.
Oh, okay. Well, what we told them today in court is what we did the first was, I guess the bad news was first. Right now, if the county builds a swinging bridge, they're responsible. And I'll say this, we had down Oneida Way, we had a guy cross the bridge, and I'm just going to say drunk, cut his foot on a nail wart, sued the county, cost about $2,500. So that's how they're responsible if something happens. But the good news was that we are trying to talk with, and if they make it a, how did you call it a while ago? Not trail town, the swinging bridge, land of the swinging bridges with tourism. Then if they do that, you can get, how you say, easements or right-of-ways through that takes the responsibility off the person or the county that owns the land where the swinging bridge is built. It puts it under that. And that makes it a state matter. It's kind of like the ATV trail. You know, if you sign that with them, then if they have an accident on ATV trail, it's not landowner's responsibility. So they're not liable, so that will help with the swinging bridges. And I think the court agreed to, well, they said we're going to, trying to think where to use this postponement from giving the different word to Clay M is going to talk to KCO lawyers. What do you say, the first week in December? In February, yeah, first week in February. So he's going to talk to the lawyers there and trying to get everything lined out. And they did agree if they get it that where they're not responsible, then the courts agreed to help rebuild some of the bridges and build some new ones. And I was going to help, I guess, argue a little bit. I can remember when I went into Manchester, when my mom would bring me to town several years ago, can't tell how many, but we had a lot of little restaurants downtown. I can remember eating ice cream at Burns's, and then there's stuff from where the bank is there, had a restaurant in there. Villas had a restaurant downtown, down on the ground. And it was a couple more than that way. I come off Lockard Creek, I thought that's a big thrill to me because I never get to go town that much. That's just 7 miles out. Yeah, so that's pretty good. You know. But I think it'd work out. And I do believe with the, Ronnie was talking about the dam, we've got, well, I've got people, and don't jump on me on this one, I got people coming from UT, coming in engineering, and hopefully it don't cost us anything to get about $500,000 worth of work done. That's not supposed to cost anything, so if that all goes ahead, we'll be in pretty good shape for that. So we are working on a few little things. We don't go out and tell everything, got to do. Somebody's going to say, well, they said it was going to do this, and then that way if you don't tell them, then you don't hear that. So sometimes, but it is working. I think we'll be all right if we just work together with it.
Great.
Well, thank
If we did the Southeast Sunday, instead of, it would be like dividing up one big festival into 6 small festivals. And you know, instead of the same crews working every single time, maybe different crews could work different months, and that way it wouldn't be so hard on everybody. You know, because putting on a festival is a big undertaking, and of course we want it to be all the things that we had planned as one big festival. We want all those same things.
Which would be what?
If we have Southeast Sundays.
But could you not have the one big festival for that month? Let that be, you know, they could still have some other things.
Right, we could.
But I just think that big, the South Festival would be more.
Yeah, we could. So really, that's what we need to do. We need to talk about that and decide if we're going to have one big one and then several small ones.
You know, when you say small ones, I envision like a Thursday night market. Is it bigger than that?
Yeah, it would be bigger than that because it's going to include the. Well, let Gary talk about that.
Yeah, I wanted to say Maybe at first there'll be smaller ones, but we don't plan on it being small for long. So we're talking, 5 big events once a month. So yeah, we plan on it growing into something very large. So there'll be large festivals just once a month. Yeah, we're not planning on anything small. We plan on it growing very quickly. But we just need a lot of help with gathering up musicians, and artists, and vendors, and it will all be free to them, so they can all participate without paying anything. But we need help with that. But we plan on.
Get louder, Gary.
Yeah, get louder.
People down here.
But we plan on musicians, vendors, other forms of entertainment going all along the Riverwalk Trail. So we need a lot of help gathering up a lot of people to do that. But we'll get a lot of media attention, and so yeah, we're not talking small events. We're talking a big monthly event.
So, groups that you would pull from, what are some examples of groups that you would pull from for like the cruisers? Would that be a monthly?
Right.
You've got horse club. You've got people that have got craft groups.
Okay.
Selling Appalachian type crafts, and stuff like this. You got musicians. We've got a lot of good musicians. We've got bluegrass, modern music, country and western music singers. We've got all those things here locally. We need to showcase them and encourage them to get out and display their wares. If we can get all of these things to come together, then we will have a drawing card.
Yeah, that will be one of the most unique things about it, is the multiple musicians lined all along the trail, all playing at once. So you walk along and you listen to one band or individual for a while, and then you walk along and listen to somebody else. But it makes it very unique, and it will draw people from far outside the county.
Young groups that would, that's like in high school.
That's what he's saying. Yeah, that's what he's saying.
No, see, I can't hike here.
Older people get involved in this also.
Yeah, we did this up in Vermilion, Ohio, and it became the best event in northern Ohio. And this was just a small town, but it drew people from all over the state and out of state. And it happened very quickly, because it's such a unique thing having all these different musicians playing at once on the same day each month. It's a lot different than having one band on one stage at an event. This is multiple musicians, and then you can include art, you can include farm market, we're going to include a car show. So it's very unique. It will definitely help draw people into the area once we get the word out, and as long as we have enough musicians and artists participating, we need help with that. No, sorry. Do you want to say anything?
The main goal is getting volunteers to do this. The musicians he's talking about, when we started this up in Vermilion, it started out with 10 or 12 bands. I'm going to call them bands, but a lot of them were just an individual with a guitar that knew how to sing. And he would sit there and strum. We had a kid that was 13 years old that played the keyboard. And he was phenomenal. Didn't sing, but he was phenomenal. And it started off slow. The very first one we had, I would say maybe 200 people came to that, and it was just the locals that came and walked around and said, yeah, this is pretty unique. And then the following month when we did it, it went up to 15 bands and individuals playing. And these were scattered just in the downtown area. And it drew a little bit more people. And it's now 6 years later, and on a Thursday night, if you used to go to Vermilion, Ohio, which starts at 6 o'clock, you would see thousands of people there coming out to watch these musicians play. And they walk around town, they come and eat dinner, they'll grab an ice cream cone, they walk down to the beach, they walk over to this shop, and Vermilion became this thriving little town, and especially on Thursday, but it spread out more than that. It helped the local shops that were downtown, added more shops came in, more people opened up shops, more people opened up more restaurants, And now people are coming to Vermilion because it's a beautiful little city. And then they come for the third Thursday festival that has now grown, and it involves just all the local people. The unique thing of it is everybody is a volunteer on that. All the musicians, nobody gets paid for that. They come and volunteer their own time. They enjoy doing it because they're putting their music out. And it could be, we had kids, and I'm not kidding, kids that were in a family that were 8, 9, and 10 years old, 3 little girls that put on a show that was everybody. They were like the stars of the show. And it was just phenomenal. So we had teenagers, we had older gentlemen, we had an older gentleman that just sang basically karaoke. And he was set up, and he was probably, I'm guessing, in his 70s. And this man would woo every woman that walked by, because he sounded, when he played Frank Sinatra and sung Frank Sinatra, he sounded like Frank Sinatra. He would sing Dean Martin, and he sounded like Dean Martin. And so the older ladies just, and he would get out and dance with them and everything else. This guy was phenomenal. But it was just another part of the whole thing. We had rock bands, country bands, bluegrass bands, blues, just a little bit of everything. And you just walked along, and you'd stay at one band as long as you wanted, or you could walk down the street a little bit, there was another band playing.
Did you have vendors all along the way too?
We had vendors set up, and all the shops, the very first time, none of the shops would open. It was one of those sleepy little towns where 5 o'clock the sidewalks were rolled up. Once this thing got started and gone, all the shops stayed open, and like I say, the restaurants stayed open, and it just brings thousands of people into that town for one night that it lasts. So, and it's a May through October thing because of the winters up there. And it went on rain or shine, and it didn't matter. In the rain, these bands would still show up. They would set up their little tents and play under them, and people would still come out with their umbrellas and walk around. So it just really grew. And like I say, 6 years, you'd never believe if you was at the very first one, because there was a lot of the term naysayers, I believe, that after the first one and they only seen 100 people walk around, oh, this is never going to go. You know what I mean? You watch next month, well, it took a group of volunteers that said, no, we're going to make this go. And we had it again, and we advertised it out. We got the word out to everybody. As far as from Cleveland to Toledo to Columbus, people were hearing about this, and people started coming from out of town just to see it because they heard about it, and they just couldn't believe it. And so, like I say, it's something that we can do as a group real easy. We're all gung-ho here about Clay County, and that's what it's all about. With our group right here, we're going to spread the word, and we're going to make it happen. Not just talk about it, but get out there and start doing it. Get these committees going. This committee's going to do this committee's going to do this. You contact these musicians, you're going to do that. Everybody working together, it will happen. We can make it happen.
Make it happen.
I predict 5 years from now, it's my prediction, my personal prediction, 5 years from now, Manchester is not going to look like Manchester does today. You're going to see shops downtown opening up, restaurants. You're going to see the young people wanting to stay here because there's going to be opportunities for them. You're going to see us grow. You're going to actually see us grow with tourism coming in, more people. I just see it all for the better. I really do.
Luke?
Now, another thing, like Bill said, this thing's not going to happen overnight. After 1 or 2 times, if it doesn't flourish, we can't give up hope. We got to persevere and stay with it, and it will happen.
Let me say one thing now, Rodney, before you start. Now, Luke and I spent a little time together yesterday after the chamber meeting, and he told me a story really quite similar about a little town, I believe it was in Iowa, wasn't it, Luke?
Yep.
That basically was pretty much the same kind of story, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. A little town called Pella that it's an entirely Dutch town, or historically Dutch town. They just had a couple industries running there, but they had this festival called the Tulip Time Festival, and it was all about flowers. Man, that whole town came out. And they would literally get down on their hands and knees and clean the cobblestone drive around the town square And that place was packed that week that that festival was going on. And nothing else happened but that town healthy, thriving. So yeah, I mean, just what we were talking about in the chamber meeting, what you were talking about, just lines right up there. You know, I've seen examples.
Yeah.
You're almost that big. What's she doing? We'd like as big as 4 feet and 6 feet. Big as we can afford it. As much as we can afford Morgan, get loud now.
Okay, I'll stand right here. I'm kind of short and quiet, so I'll try to.
You ain't allowed to be quiet
I
around
know.
there.
I'm Morgan. I think everybody here probably knows me because I know everybody here. You probably know me from the Manchester Enterprise, but I'm with Manchester Memorial Hospital now. I started there 2 weeks ago as the creation specialist. So whenever I applied to the job, the thing that caught my eye on the ad was public relations, and I was like, yeah, that's me. So I applied for it, not really knowing what I was getting myself into, but now that I'm there, I figured it out, and I've actually really bought into it. So that's why I was bringing you guys the materials that Joe is helping me hand out. But basically what we're doing, Creation Health is a program that's been around for about 10 years, and we've only really started to utilize it in the last year. It's a grant, faith-based project, it's not a profit, and it stands for Choice, Rest, Environment, Activity, Trust, Interpersonal Relationship, Outlook, and Nutrition. Those are the principles that Creation Health are built around, and basically the idea is that everything in Creation Health is rooted in Scripture, and it's also based in science, what we know about what it takes to make a person live a long, healthy life. What we're doing with Creation Health, and if you guys have seen in the hospital, if y'all have been there recently at all, you might see some of these pamphlets laying around, or maybe something on the wall that's Creation Health. And also we've had the big Creation Health buzz going around town. Some of you guys might have seen that. It's a big green buzz. We're just trying to come up with ways to reach out to people and to help people make healthier choices and utilize the Creation Health model in their everyday lives. The program that I'm getting ready to launch inside the hospital is going to start out on the 3rd floor with our PCU rooms, which is our progressive care unit. So patients who have been admitted for a couple days, we're going to try to reach out to them first. Eventually, this program is going to grow, and we're going to go out into the community and work with people out in the community a lot more. But we're kind of starting small now. What I need from you guys, and why I wanted to come and talk to this group today, is because you are all very proactive in the community, and you're all very vocal in the community. So if this sounds like something you'd be interested in doing, I've attached my card along with this information. Or if you know someone who sounds like they might be interested in volunteering in what we're getting ready to do, feel free to pass my information along to them. But essentially, what we've done in our grant, we made room to put iPads in every room on our PCU, in our PCU rooms. I need a team of volunteers, dedicated volunteers, that will feel comfortable going room to room, sitting down with people, giving them an iPad, letting them play with the apps, and we'll have a lot of different apps on there for them. But this is going to make people a lot more comfortable in their rooms, and while they're there, they're going to talk to them about Creation Health, talk about the 8 principles, and how that's going to help them live a longer, healthier life. One of the other things that we're going to be doing is when patients are admitted into the hospital, they're going to get a choice about what they're going to do there on their stay. Before, and if anybody's ever been admitted into a hospital, you've been given a gown and a room, and that's really about it. Like, you don't have any kind of say whatsoever in what happens there. With Creation Health, when you're admitted into a PCU room, you're going to get a choice of what kind of gown that you want to wear while you're there, whether, the color. You get to choose a plant that you would like to have put in your room. And then whenever you get discharged, you'll get to take that plant home with you. And then, also just the provided entertainment with an iPad is pretty cool, because there's no hospitals that are doing that right now. Manchester Memorial Hospital is kind of in the lead of that. So,
basically what I need is a group of volunteers who are willing to do that, to go into patients' rooms, sit with them, pray with them if that's what they need. If they need counseling or just someone to talk to, then they'll feel comfortable with doing that.
Go to a retired teacher program.
I would love to do that.
That's the kind of person probably fits your needs.
Yeah.
A retired teacher.
Yeah, that's definitely.
They probably need something to do, and they're the group that will go sit down and have a conversation, right? What about you? You're retired.
Yes, I would contact the vocational school, Tammy Jones, because they do medical time that they have to get how many hours get their first aid training. And so that'd be something that she might have to know above and beyond if he's willing to do that kind of thing.
Yeah, and that's we'll also train people. I hear Georgia doesn't know how to use an iPad, but we'll teach people how to do that. We're not going to send people into rooms blindly, but it's a work in progress right now. I'm just looking for some really dedicated people. In terms of volunteers, we're planning on doing this thing sort of in shifts. So if someone is admitted at 6 o'clock at night, if I've got someone that's just, lives around town or says, I'm not doing anything on Tuesday nights from 6 to 8, I can call that person and they can go to the hospital, greet the patient and say, we're glad, what would you like for your room? What kind of gown would you like? I'm with Creation Health. Let me tell you a little bit about it. And then that's really about it. So I'm going to be quiet before I just start rambling. But if anyone's interested, feel free to meet with me after this or just give me a call sometime. I've got my card on there. And then I'm going to talk to Barb after this is over with about the retirement. So, thank you guys.
Well, my name is Rachel Johnson. I work for Intangible Education, and we have a lot of really great things going on. I think since it was July through December, we had 45 students get their GED in Clay County. So, that is awesome. I'm so proud. And so what we're doing is we're starting a free computer class, because that's a big need. iPad, we're going to bring out some of those things so students can learn about typing, resume skills. All of those things will be free, and I don't have a date yet, but it'll be the next few weeks. We'll get a flyer ready, and I'll make sure that I give it to Rhonda Bowling, because I know her pretty well, and put it on Facebook. Like Facebook page. We have like 50 so far, but I know we can have a lot more. And we have, one thing I'd like to let you all know is I'm willing to come and speak to your groups. I have an appointment with the Clay County Women's Club next month, and basically what I would do is talk about our GED, unfortunately, went from $60 to $120. This is not anything that Clay County or EKU has done. It's nationwide. So what we need to do is think about funding for our students. What I would love to see is keeping the price at $60 and help have funding for the other 60, because for all of our students it was so hard to even come up with 60, but 120, that's really hard. So what I'd like to do is, if you have any suggestions for me to come to your club or anything like that, I'm willing to do that to help fund some students to get their GED this year, next year, year after, and have all that. Any questions? My phone number is on the flyer, as well as Facebook. It's on my phone, so I can't hide from it. If you send me a message, I will definitely get back to you as soon as possible. Anything else? We've had a lot of really great response, and very proud of our students. They've done so well. So that's it. But thank you for that.
That's it for me right now. We've got 3 minutes left.
I'm not gonna, it's already so late, I'm not gonna discuss any old business, we'll just skip that. I just wanna thank everybody for turning out, and next time we will have a microphone wherever we meet. And I wanna thank the mayor and County Judge Joe Asher for being here.
Yes.
And all of our, yes, everybody new, and please come back. And one thing, scratch out that date at the bottom of your page, your agenda, because we can't have the meeting that night. Some of us have got a prior engagement. So, but we'll put the word out there when we decide on a night. And like I said, we'll have a microphone at the next meeting, that way we can be heard, because some, like Gary's soft-spoken and Rodney and Ronnie are both really loud, and the rest of us fall somewhere in between. So we'll have a microphone.
Can I nominate to make a decision on the Saltworks Festival for that
You think
day?
we could do that tonight?
Just to vote all the way around with people
On the main issue.
on the May.
Does everybody want to vote?
I know what kind of planning it takes, and to even push it out a whole nother month.
Why don't you give us 2 or 3 suggested dates and then vote in the next meeting on whichever date would be?
No, she's talking about.
I know, for the Salt Festival that Gail's talking about.
What do you mean, the festival as having one big festival and then also taking part in the other ones? Or
At least to set a date for the initial festival. And then if you change it up
The first weekend.
Well, do you think you're going to have your theater stage built by then? You think you're going to have the cabins done by then?
They're wanting to approve the money this month for the stage.
I'm just asking, I don't know.
I mean, even if it's not finished.
The stage will be done,
we
definitely. It
can,
won't take
we
long
can
to do
rent
that.
a tent, a big super
if
tent.
we do the last Sunday in May, like we were talking about, we can follow in with what Betty was saying about having a block party also in the tent.
Well, Jack, I've only got about a minute left. And so, what do you think? How's it been tonight?
Ron, I think we've had a very productive and informative meeting. I'm looking forward to having a few more of these and get this thing organized and put it on the road.
So what?
I think we've
Put the rubber to the tar.
yep, pedal to the metal.
Pedal to the metal.
All right. Well,
Theirs is the more, theirs is the 3rd weekend, and Jack's is the 4th weekend, right?
Fourth weekend. Fourth weekend of every month. And all Somerset is the 4th Saturday, and ours is the 4th Sunday of each month. Ours is the 4th Sunday, Somerset's is the 4th Saturday, the next day after Somerset.
the Clayco News Video team is signing off.
Them over here.